Well, hello everybody. Today is about the third day this week after the holiday period that I've been down the allotment to start cleaning up a bit, and as you can see I've uncovered some leeks. The weeds were about this high, and as you saw last time could hardly see them, so I've managed to dig them out. I do think I've disturbed some of them though, because a lot of them are lying down or bending over, so I don't know if they're going to make it, but some of the other ones look quite strong. So that's the leek area. As you can see, I haven't done any of the 2 cages yet because I need some help lifting them up. But the other bit of news is I've managed to clear this area because I had a bit of a bright spark idea. I thought, well, as I'm clearing the weeds from the path, I might as well enlist Adam's help and get the slabs down. So we're going to put some slabs down today and create the first path. Because as I was working here anyway, I might as well flatten it out and get the path down. So that's what we'll be doing today. Adam's here. Hello. Doing a few bit of weeding and we've got the slabs all ready to go in. So it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be level and flat, but it's just an allotment path after all, so I'm sure it'll do. So that's what we'll be getting on with now, and I'll show you again later. Okay, first 5 are done, and they look okay, I think. Was a bit easier than I thought it was going to be, so Adam's just gone to go and get 3 more, which will hopefully bring us down to here. It's probably going to stick out a little bit further into here, but we'll see when we get there. So on to the next lot. So we have a path, as Adam just said, my first bit of landscaping in rural Worcestershire. So that's it. So I think I just counted. I think there's only 7 more to do, but that won't be today. I need to clear the paths after all. So we're gonna have a look and see if we can do the bit in front of the shed. So I'll start clearing, and I'll show you when we start that. There you go. The man's given up. So he said it's time for a cup of tea and a Smartie biscuit, Smartie cookie, which I made a couple of days ago. So there we go. So we managed to put 4 of those larger rectangular ones here in front of the shed, and they're pretty good. They don't rock or anything, so I didn't think we were going to be able to do it, because you can tell exactly how rocky and how many stones there are in this area. So it was a case of terraforming the earth almost. So we've got them down, and I think the plan is to I'll scrape that lot down by another couple of centimeters, I think, and then I have still got loads of gravel up at the top. So what I'm going to do is gravel all of that to stop weeds from growing there, and this, and that'll still keep that fairly dry, and it gives me a chance to step in without traipsing mud in all the time. Hopefully, that's the theory. So that's my second bit of landscaping in the rural Worcestershire countryside, and yeah, it's a start to getting rid of all of those slabs up at the top. So but I think little bit and often is all that Adam can deal with at the moment. So let's go reward him with a cup of tea and a Smartie cookie. So I will see you guys again tomorrow, possibly. Bye for now. Hello everybody. So today's job is bed number 2, trying to rescue the tomato plants from in there. So I'll start with weeding and clearing, and then I think it is sorting out the tomatoes, taking out the suckers, tying up what can be tied up, and just generally seeing what state they're in. So I'll catch up with you again soon. So there we go everybody. This is 2 days later, as the time I allocated myself last time wasn't nearly enough to do this bed. It was a lot harder work than I thought it was going to be, and loads more weeds than I thought there was. So I've managed to get all the weeds out. This is bed 2, if you remember, and I've tied up all of the tomatoes, taken out loads of suckers. Unfortunately, as this is the first time they've been tied up, and they're quite large, they were growing along the ground and then up through the weeds to try and get to the light. So in the process of binding them up, I've unfortunately snapped off quite a few branches with mostly flowers, no trusses. In fact, there's very few trusses of tomatoes anyway. Loads of flowers at the moment. Just shows you how late my tomatoes are. So there are a few tomatoes on there. I'd say probably about 20 between the, no, maybe about more, 30 between the 12 bushes. So they can start ripening up, and as I said, loads of flowers at the moment, so they'll hopefully start developing. The sweet corns are doing quite well. I pulled up all of the big weeds in amongst them, so there are still some little weeds I can still tidy up over there a little bit. I'll walk through the bed here. It's all compacted because I was on my hands and knees in here. Those were the leftover few sweet corns that I planted in there, so whether they're going to get to anything, the ones at the back are sort of knee height, whereas these ones here are sort of thigh height. So a cucumber on this side is doing okay. Evidence of weeds. I got 6 big trugs of that, like that one, full of weeds that I've put on the burn pile. So 6 just out of the one bed gives you an idea, doesn't it? So and then the other thing I've started doing is I weeded each of the 8 tyres, the courgette tyres. So they're now all weeded, mostly grass free. I take it that's the horse manure that produced all of that grass. So grass free now, and then as you can see I've started here just to try and tidy up a bit. So this will probably be the next bit that I tidy up, just in between, so you can actually see the tyres more clearly. I weeded a little bit by the carrots just in there, so I need to get round to the back and go and do a better job back there, but that'll be next time's job. For today, that's probably it. And yes, yesterday I picked a few of these sweet corns, the first sort of 3 or 4, and the kids ate them almost, you know, went home, cooked them, and they ate them immediately for a snack. So they loved them, and they were super sweet and juicy, so I'm very pleased with them. And then as I wander back towards the shed, I asked the kids, once again, they've made themselves scarce because I'm not all that happy with them at the moment, but I asked the kids to go down to the orchard and take a bucket and pick up all of the rotten apples on the floor so that we can put them in the compost bin. I kept glancing over and they kept standing upright, and I never saw them bending down to pick up a rotten apple. I walked over there and said, "What exactly are you two doing?" And they were picking apples off the tree instead of the ones from the floor. So we have now got a stack of apples that I'm not even sure if they're ready. They were just picking them. So we've also picked some beans and a couple of courgettes for today's harvest. So tonight I need to figure out what to do with all of those apples, and yes, puddings and various other things. So that'll be my job for tonight. So I think that's probably it for this episode. As you can see, just loads and loads more weeding to do. So that'll be it for the foreseeable future for me, I think. So and that's not particularly interesting to watch, watching somebody do weeding. So I think that's it for me for this episode, and then I'll see you all again soon, hopefully with a few extra beds done.